Hey there guys, you are watching the Be a Hero Gaming channel where we talk about games and how you can be a hero in your real lives as well as in your games. I really hope if you're watching this video and others of my videos, you're watching for one of two reasons. Number one, you watch because you love games, different kinds of games. We've been talking a lot about collectible card games lately because I really like this stuff. And so maybe you're watching because you want to hear about games and different types of games. The other reason you might be watching, the second reason, is because you want to be a better person. Maybe you're watching for both of those reasons, because you like games and you want to be a better person. That's what this channel is all about. And so I really hope I can inspire you about different kinds of games and inspire you to be a better person. Today, we're going to kind of combine those two things into one video here together. Usually we talk a little bit about being a hero and then kind of a lot about a game. And today we're going to kind of put that together into one thing. Now, just as a little preface to that, I have a couple of cards here that I've laid out that I kind of just randomly chose. This one is an Iron Leaves. I hope there's not a reflection on that. An Iron Leaves there that my daughter actually pulled out of a build and battle box. And ironically, I don't know if you guys have seen this video that I did. This was crazy. So there's 4 packs in a build and battle box. She opened it up. Her 4 rares were identical to the 4 rares my son pulled out of his box, with the exception of she had the special art Iron Leaves and he had the regular one. So it was really weird. Then I opened mine up and I had a bunch of junk and mine had nothing. So that was really weird. The two of them opened up their 4 packs that came in the build and battle box and they had the exact same rares, all 4 of them with a slightly different art. When I was in high school, this was the very first rare card I pulled out of a Magic pack. And to me, this card is super priceless just because when I saw 8/8 trample on the Force of Nature, I thought, you guys are all smoked. And everybody was so jealous of my 8/8 card and nobody's creatures were as powerful. When we would trade with people, the Shivan Dragon was a banger. People always wanted these. And they would flip through people's binders. How many Shivan Dragons do you have? We trade one of those. And I know there's a lot of other really cool cards out there that are way better than the Shivan Dragon at that time. But when I was in high school, the Shivan Dragon was the big thing. Like, who's got the Shivan Dragon? I want to get a couple of those and put them in my fire deck. Lately, we've been trading some slabs for Wonders of the First. And so we got a bunch of Wonders of the First cards that are pretty hot. And the reason why I'm talking about hot cards, because that's what this video is about. Let me get right to the point here without going too far. I'll get a bunch of hate comments. It took them forever to get to the point. So here's the point of this video. There's a major problem, major issue, not really a problem, a difficulty with TCGs, tradable card games, and CCGs, collectible card games. And when I tell you this, you guys might be thinking, that's not a big problem for me at all. I think that's a you problem. And it probably could be. It probably very well could be just with me. But I wanted to talk about this because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that struggle with this. And the major difficulty with these types of games is trading cards, selling cards, and buying cards. And now I'm not talking about eBay. I'm not talking about TCG Player, that type of thing. I'm talking about in-person, chatting about something or so forth, where maybe you're doing it digitally, or you're chatting with someone online, you're at a card shop and you're looking at someone face to face. Trading cards can be very difficult. And let me tell you why. For me, I'm the kind of person where I want people to have a good time. I want people to be happy. I want people to get along. And so because of that, there's a lot of times I get taken advantage of when doing a trade, because I think, man, if the person buys this card from me, can they really afford that? Maybe I should bring the price down a little bit because I don't know if they'll be able to afford it or not. Or if I'm doing a trade, I'll think, I don't know if I should trade that because, am I getting a good deal? And I know there's a lot of people out there that I envy that can make a trade without thinking twice about it, that can sell something for an honest price and not feel bad about it. They just do it. And those kinds of people are a lot more successful trading cards and selling cards and buying cards than I am. And so with that said, I'm trying really hard lately to be better at that, to be a little more assertive and think, what do I want? What seems like a fair value for this card? And so those of you who have been trading with me with these Wonders of the First cards, maybe chatting on the Discord, doing some trades, doing some sales, I really hope I have not offended any of you, but I'm trying to be more decisive in what I'm willing to trade and what I'm not willing to trade. Because here's kind of the issue, with me at least. Again, I hope there's some people out there that sympathize with me, but maybe you don't. But here's something that I struggle with, is deciding about the card that I want versus the card that I think other people will want in the future. That's a major issue. So for example, let's just take these Wonders of the First cards here. The High Lord Crestwing and the Cinderbolt, both really cool cards. Would this be a good trade? You might ask yourselves, I don't know. I would rather have this card. I would rather have this card. It's really tough to determine what's a good trade based off of which card do you want and which card do you think people will want in the future. Because any tradable card game, any collectible card game, that's something that we're thinking about. We're thinking about, what do I want either for my collection, for my deck, because I like the artwork, or what am I thinking people are gonna want this card later? People are gonna think the Force of Nature, people don't care about this card. People are gonna think the Force of Nature is so cool. And I'm gonna hang on to that solely for the purpose of trading it later when the price goes up, or any other card. That becomes difficult when you think about, what card do I want, what card will appreciate and value in the future. So what do we do about this? What's the answer? I don't know if I have all the answers. I have a couple of ideas, but before I get to the ideas, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is, it's really hard when you're trading, buying, selling, to not take things personally. Because, and let me give you an example. I was on the Discord for Wonders of the First, and I made someone an offer. This was a couple of months ago. I made someone an offer to trade for a card, and they gave me the emoji, the tongue sticking out, crazy eyed, ha ha, like laughing emoji thing. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's the crazy looking emoji where the guy's like going crazy, his tongue sticking out, his eyes are different shapes. And when I first saw that, I kind of was stung a little bit. Well, I thought I was giving you a really good deal. And you basically gave me the "you're crazy" emoji. There's no way on earth I would do that. And so my first reaction was, I kind of got a little offended and thought, how could you say that? Why can't you just say no instead of making me feel like an idiot? Well, it turns out I was an idiot. It turns out the more research I did into it, the more I found out about these cards, I realized that the trade I was offering was ridiculous. And there's no way that anybody in their right mind would have traded that. And so, again, I don't have all the answers, but I think all of us could be a little bit more objective in the trades that we make and not so emotional. Because, again, there's another card I offered to buy, and the person laughed at me and said, I spent more than that when I bought it. I'm not going to sell it to you for that. And I bought it like a week ago. So no, I'm not going to sell it to you for that. And I had to sit back and think, that's fair. That's fair. It's your card. And if you don't think it's a good price, you just say no. And I've tried to make it, I don't know the right word. I tried to make it clear to people that if I make you an offer that you think is a bad offer, just say no. You don't have to give me an excuse. You don't have to say anything. You can just say, no, I'm not going to do that. That's a bad offer. And none of us should be going away from a trade with hurt feelings, feeling bad, feeling offended, feeling like, how could you say that to me, when it's pretty objective. You take two cards and you say, hey, do you want to trade these cards with me? And if the answer is no, the answer is no. They don't want to trade cards, and that's fine. You can go on living. You can find somebody else who may trade cards with you. I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on this topic. And again, I might be the crazy one. You guys might have it all figured out and think, yo, this is not a big deal. I trade cards and I don't think twice about it. And I just go about my day. Again, those people I really envy. I wish I could be like that. I wish I didn't invest so many emotions into the trading of cards, and maybe I would be a better card trader if that were my perspective and that was my approach. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be more assertive, more objective, thinking about, what do I want? Don't think about what somebody else will want in the future. What card do I want now? Because I like the card, I like the artwork, it's going to go great in my deck, and I'm going to trade for that. Even if I'm giving away a card, people are going to want this card in the future, whatever. Okay, I'm trying to get the card that I want. And if I offer someone to trade and they say no, if I offer someone to buy a card or sell a card and they laugh at me and say that's a ridiculous price, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let's try really hard to look at these trades and sales as more objective, less emotion. Think about it. Think it through. What makes sense to me? What would I be willing to trade? What would I be willing to sell? And if someone says no, that's fine. It's their card. It's their money. They don't have to trade. They don't have to buy from you, and you just move on. Again, I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are on this topic. What you guys do, maybe some tips for me or those out there, what you do to make trading a more comfortable process, to make selling a more comfortable process, buying a more comfortable process. And I will say, to all of you out there on the Wonders of the First Discord, I have been very impressed with some of the responses I've gotten there, and very, very few, if not none of them, have been negative. There's been a lot of people who asked me to trade a card that I didn't want to trade, and the response was, fair enough, sounds good, no problem, not a big deal, no sweat. And I love that. It makes me feel good, makes me feel like I'm not being so emotionally involved. And so thank you to those on the Discord of Wonders of the First for your great attitudes and your great examples. Hopefully, we all can be a little bit better at trading cards and selling cards and buying cards as we look at it more objectively with less emotion, don't get our feelings hurt, and we use this as something to have a good time. This isn't something that's supposed to be stressful or we worry about or keeps us up at night. This is supposed to be fun. And so if you're super stressed out about your trades and your sales, maybe there's something that you need to do about that. So guys, again, we can play games and be heroes at the same time as we collect cards, we trade with friends, we get something we like, they get something they like, both parties go away from the negotiation happy and go about their way. I hope you guys are playing games. I hope you're being heroes, and I hope you're looking for areas in your lives that you can change, that you can tweak just a little bit day to day to make yourself a better person, to level yourself up slightly. And when you think about playing a game and being a hero in the game, you think that sounds kind of fun, but I'm going to be a hero in real life. What's my real life level? Where am I at? And what am I going to do to get myself a little bit better each day so that you can be a hero, so that you can be legendary? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care.